Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this episode we are taking off the fuel tank of the R1100GS. Same applies to the 1150. And we are gonna fit the fuel line quick disconnects. That's something that everybody should do on the bikes like this, because for every service you need to take off the tank. So let's go. So the next thing we're gonna do is removing the fuel tank, and yeah, for this you need to pull this up, so be careful. Some people say they damaged it, so you just pull gently. It's just like 3 of those things here, so yeah, and they're just holding it in place there. So there actually. So you just pull it, put it aside. There is the connector for the fuel pump and everything. So you need to actually detach it. There are 2 levers here. You just push them, you detach the connector. That's that easy. So here are 2 fuel lines, the upper one, the lower one, and this is where I will fit the fuel quick disconnects. So to remove the fuel tank, after you remove this connector here, you need to remove these 2 fuel lines. So I marked the upper one here, that I don't mistake them later on, and you need to detach these 2 brother lines. So I think I can just pull them here. Yeah, so the brother lines are detached. It was very easy. So on the fuel lines I need to have a look, because there will be some fuel spilled down here. So I will put some rock here underneath. So let's go with the upper one first. Just need a screwdriver for that. Just loosen it. You can also disconnect all of those connectors here, because they are just in place. So first fuel line disconnected. There was not much fuel in there, funny enough. So I'm wondering if there is any point on fuel quick disconnects. Yeah, the fuel line doesn't look too good, but yeah, I will do this work later, replacing them. So the second one is right here. Also just loosen this. You know, I'm not speeding it up on purpose to show you how it actually really looks like, because all of the videos on the internet are so easy, but I want to show you the real work. So there is more fuel spill here in this one. So let's have a look. Yeah, a bit more, but not too much. I think these lines are just going up to the fuel pump, so you cannot actually drain the the tank with them. So they just connect to the fuel pump, but the fuel pump needs to be working in order to have more fuel in here. So now to actually remove the tank, you have this how to say connection here. That's the only one. that you need to detach, and for this you will need its INBUS HX6, and on the other side that's a 13mm wrench, and there is a washer, so be careful not to lose it. Have not done it yet, so probably I will lose it as well. So let's try to detach it. These breather hoses, I can put them up here that they don't interfere. So you just hold it with the 13mm on the other side and just wrench it here. So after you have loosened those, you can actually just do it by hand. So just hold the washer on the other side and just do it this way. So yeah, so that's the thing. Actually you're not losing this one, so I saw on other videos, so probably this was already replaced on mine. So it has like this integrated washer. So yeah, now let's remove the tank. So I'm doing it for the first time, so let's have a look. People just say you need to pull it. So yeah, so just pull the tank, just remove it. It's that easy. So I don't have much fuel in it now. So let's put it here. I spilled some more petrol, so there was more petrol in the lines. So I think in the end there is a point for the quick disconnects. So yeah, that's how it looks like underneath. Battery, I think this is the motor engine control electronics thingy. This is the ABS unit. So this is the drains for the brake fluid, and it goes all the way from here. So here are the old lines, and then there are metal lines that go to the ABS unit. So what we're gonna do is to drain all of this later on and also replace the lines. But first things first, and let's do the quick disconnects. So the fuel tank actually looks good from inside, no rust, nothing, and you see it sits on two rubber thingies here. So that's how it is actually connected to the frame. So super hot today, I think 35 degrees Celsius, poof, sweating. Yeah, so one remark, I actually prepared the clamps. I don't have normal clamps, so I have only this ones for food. And I have them actually from the nuclear waste facility of Switzerland. You can do tours there, funny enough, but you don't really need them. So if you don't have any clamps, you don't need the clamps. There is not much fuel coming out there. Work is going on and the worker is relaxing. So I just detached the fuel tank, so it's down here, and we're gonna fit those quick disconnects here. I will show you one. So please get a metal ones, because the plastic ones are not so good. So how does it work? This is the disconnect, and you can disconnect it like this. So it's just snapping off, and it's some quality stuff. It's telling here made in Germany, if you can see it. yeah, you don't see that often now. So how does it work? These quick disconnects are actually quite good because they close both sides when they're disconnected. So let's have a look how that works. So now the fuel line is open, and if you disconnect them, you cannot blow inside on both sides. So they are completely closed on both sides. So let's fit them on the fuel line. So guys, basically what you want to do is, you see this fuel disconnect, so you need to cut this amount from the old fuel line, and in this disconnects it's 5 centimeters. I'll show you. So it's pretty exactly 5 centimeters. So you just need to put a cut somewhere of 5 centimeters. So I think on this one I'll put it somewhere here. So you need pliers like this, and you just cut it. So done. One cut, and then we just take the 5 centimeters and cut it again. So let's do it this way. So 5 centimeters. Be careful not to cut too much. Done. So that's our 5 centimeters, and that's how we can fit this thing here. So there are new things that I don't know how are called. Look like this. So put them here. So I will put one quick disconnect this way and the other quick disconnect the other way, that after I actually remove the lines I know how to attach them again. So without marking them like this time. So one is fitted, and I'll do the other stuff down here. I forgot this thing. So you need to put it first, and then you put the quick disconnect in. It's a bit flimsy. Try to. Oh, here's the tank. Fuel. Still some fuel inside. And the fuel dripped again here, as you see. So every time you move the tank, fuel is dripping. So there's a very good point to fit these disconnects. So for the second one, I want to do the disconnect a bit higher up as opposed to this one, because on the engine housing there are some other hoses that are in place. So I would like to do it, let's say, here. Zack. And now 5 centimeters again, saying BMW something. It's, by the way, 8 millimeters, 8 times 13, so I guess 13 millimeters is the diameter around and 8 inside. So you need the quick disconnects for 8 millimeters on those bikes with those engines. So let's do the 5 centimeter again. Doesn't need to be that precise, but yeah. So 5 centimeters. And cut. So I think it's a bit longer than the thing, so like a couple of millimeters, but no problem. So this one I would fit the other way around in order to know which one is which when I'm actually detaching it next time. So there are these thingies again. Fasteners, I think. Yeah, are they called fasteners? So loosen it up again a bit. So you see, it's really tight. So now the other side. So again the same game. So this is easier because I can hold it in my hand completely. So let's tighten it up. Be sure the screws are outside, because you want them facing outside in order not to rub on any other stuff on the bike. So this one is tightened. These are good fasteners actually, because they slide all the way around. So let's fasten this thing here. So that one is tight, and I can actually detach it so that you can see it. So I actually escaped into the shadow and tightening the other two. So yep, by the way, it works like this. Really cool. So it's not tightened yet, so but yeah, that's how it works. It's really tight. So then you pull it and you can release it. So just tighten them up here. I went for the shadow because super hot here in Zurich. So you see, this fastener has a bit of different construction than the original one. So I think this one is actually much better. You see, it tightens like all the way, and this one is just snagging. So they both work, but I guess if I work on the fuel lines later on at some point of time, then I will take the new fasteners. Actually, they're pretty cool. So, and then the last one. So it's tight. Fuel. I'm saying fuel. By the way, I asked the technical inspection here in Switzerland, and they told me that I don't need to register any of, let's say, adjustments to the bike that are related to the fuel lines. The only thing is that it needs to be not leaking. So the technical regulations are here pretty strict, but this is pretty relaxed. So now I can attach both of them to the bike permanently. This was the upper one where I fitted the quick release close to the end, and this was the lower one where I fitted the quick release a bit further up. So let's attach them to the bike. The fuel line disconnect packaging needs to be recycled and taken care of. So now guys, let's reattach the lines to the bike again. So the lower one first. Let's have a look. These are actually plastic, they are not metal. So just snag it on. It's pretty tight. So, oops. Well, the bike is a bit back heavy because the tank is removed. So let's snag it on. Oh yeah, now that is snagged on completely. Now let's fasten it again. Yeah, the old fasteners are really a bit flimsy. So hopefully all tight again. So let's put it this way. Actually, you can lower it a bit so that it doesn't rub this sensor. Sorry for the long video, but I just want to show what you should do, what you should not do. So I think this way it fits better. So if the fastener is actually down here, you see also the reason why I put the quick disconnect a bit on the upper side, so that the fuel line actually can rest here, and this whole thing doesn't rub on the arm of the telelever. So this way is better. I think you can also put it a bit more up, but then you don't have much place here. But you can put 1 or 2 centimeters more up. Now the second one. So look. So just snag it. So this one goes easier actually. So now fasten it as well. And you see, if this one happens to the rubber of the electric cables, this is the reason why you should actually replace the brake lines as well, because the same can happen, and then this is really a security issue. And by the way, I will need to change these lines here. You see, the rubber is all gone. So I just looked it up on the internet, and it's a pretty common issue that this rubber shielding, so not the cables themselves but the rubber shielding, so like this one, is actually deteriorating with the time. So I just put a gaffer tape for the moment to not have my cables exposed here, but I will need to look into the new rubber shielding for the cables and to refit it at a later point of time. So my companion is back. Eloy, say hello. Yeah, that's the fuel. So let's have a brief look at the fuel tank again. My companion is there. Hello, Eloy. Inspecting the helmet. So the fuel tank actually looks really nice for the 27-year-old one. There is no rust underneath here, so I've seen tanks with some sealant here underneath, but no rust here, which is pretty good. And I cleaned it up a bit inside. It was a bit dusty, but yeah, look how it looks like. Actually quite nice, and the whole assembly from the, how do you call it, fuel pump, actually also looks quite good. So I'm not opening it this time, but at some point of time I will open it and have a look inside on all of the hoses and everything. But from outside, really looks nice. So good job, BMW. So that's how the fuel disconnects look again, all tidy and nice. So just be aware that you fit different ones, that you don't mistake in the hoses later on. This is the part that stays always on the bike, and down here is the part that is on the tank. So that was actually much easier than I would have expected it to be. And in Russian there is a saying, the eyes are afraid and the hands are doing. So yeah, that's another example of this, actually, that it's much easier than you think it will be. So that's all for today, and see you in the next episode. And I think we will do the battery next, and the chargers, the quad lock chargers, and then in the episode after that we will refit the brake lines from the old rubber to the new steel. So stay tuned and see you later. Bye bye.